Alright, so in this one we're going to look at the Troll King, Goblin King I guess it is. And so I've got everything cut out and I've got them all cleaned up. I'm ready to glue them all together. So I'm just going to follow the assembly order. I'm going to use some of the GW glue this time. Based on the pictures I can see on the or in the books, it looks as though there's a bit of gap filling that's going to happen on this guy. So this thicker glue will help fill in a bit more of the gaps. Let's see, put some glue on each of these and along these surfaces. And I think I get some through here. Give that a shot. Yeah, there's a little bit of a gap there. That's not too bad though. Squeeze that tight. And I'm going to use a bit of extra thin glue along that line. And yeah, there is a bit of a gap. I should be able to just scrape that off with the knife when I'm done. Okay, so there's step one. Step two, we're going to put this leg on the back here. Get some glue all over that. I like the GW thin glue, except I find it clogs all the time. That's a bit of a nuisance. Okay, so this go in there like that. It fits in there quite nicely. Squeeze it good. Okay, there are my legs on. And now I'm going to put the front of his face on all here. So yeah, this Goblin King looks pretty menacing. It'd be neat to see how he turns out in the movie. Looks like there's an alternate sculpt of this going to be coming out sort of in February time frame that will have him throwing the goblin. And there's a picture of that in the book, and there's some on the internet. Sort of an alternate sculpt. I don't know if it's plastic or if it's fine cast. I suspect it might be fine cast, but it would be really nice if it was plastic. It'd be a much nicer model if it was plastic, but I just can't see them selling enough of them to justify it being in plastic. So just filling in all those areas there with the thin glue. That should help cover up any of the joints. Now his hand, I'm going to put the skull on the top first. See, I'm clogged up already. Sometimes I'm lucky and I'm just able to wipe the top of it and it comes back flowing. Other times I'm not so lucky and I have to try to scrape it out or something. Okay, and the last piece here. And then what I'll do is I'm going to cut this video and I'm going to go assemble or cut out the rest of the guys from the Goblin King sprue. And so that's the scribe and the champion or whatever they're called. And get ready to assemble those next. There's no assembly for any of the other goblins, so I'll just show them when I'm done this. See you in a minute. Alright, now we're going to do the Goblin Scribe. So I've got all the bits here for him. I got to figure out how they all go together. So the how does this work? This wagon wheel looks like it goes like that. I assume that's a wagon wheel. I think that's going to be how it goes. So you put that aside, and then I've got this here with more skulls, and let's see, this piece is going to go in there, judging by the pictures. plastic there. So I scraped all the mold lines off first, and okay, it's got a little peg in there. It's good. These things all line up just a certain way, and it's pretty straightforward how they go in, which is nice, because I could see that being pretty confusing if they didn't do that. Okay, so we've got this now. And what I've got to do is I've got to get this piece here. How's this going to go? So it looks like, oh, it looks like it actually goes, and they're telling me to dry fit it, so that must mean that there's a good potential for problems. So, let's see. I can't tell where this piece here is going to go. So, do I have to guess? I wish they had given me a better picture. Okay, so this is going to go something. Oh, I see now. There's a little notch right, see, right there. And there's a little bump on this. So those are going to go together. That's good to know. I got to get that through there. So if that goes like that, then this one must go there. Let's see here. Okay, so they're showing, okay, let's see if I can line this up. Oh, this has to go there. Oh, so that little gap goes behind there, and this piece has to go there. Perfect, and it fits just perfect. Okay, so once that became obvious, it was easy, but the instructions could have been better. And then this guy goes in there. So hopefully you guys can learn from that thing there, how that went together, and there you have it. So let's just make this a bit straighter so that it all lines up. And not that it has to be perfect, because this is a Goblin bit here, and we'll get some more glue. Make sure that everything that's touching is glued. There we go. That's a pretty neat little piece of equipment. Okay, and then this guy is going to go on here. So there's a little peg there, and this whole piece is going to double up the front. There we go. Bit more glue on this top piece. Make sure that it's okay, and it's just gonna go on here just like that. Wow, he sticks up quite high. I wonder if I've got that on right. There we go. And that looks about right. There we have it. So I'll just make sure that all this is fitting in there nicely. And make sure he's on there straight, hanging vertical. And that's pointing straight. That's it. Okay, so on to the other guys, or the I'm going to do the throne next, and then the rest of the goblins. Alright, so I'm ready to assemble the throne for the Goblin King. So let's see if I can get these parts sorted out. As I was cutting these out, I noticed on the sprue, the Goblin Kingdom sprue, the Goblin Town sprue, at least this one with the throne and the special characters and the king. There's it looks like some markers for objectives in the game. So there's a cache of weapons and some satchels or something like that. So maybe that's something in the movie is like that. I don't know. No, so that's not cooperating with me right now. I wonder if I could use that to loot it. There we go. So that's going to go on the bottom here. Okay, and then we take this big back piece. And that's going to go. Let's see. I think that's probably going to be touching along there too, and on that stone edge. Lots of glue. Okay, and that slides nicely in there. Okay, and then we go with the other side. Just put glue on all the surfaces here. Go. And I'll go like that. There's the throne. This will make a neat piece of scenery for fantasy or something like that. I'm sure you could make a scenario out of this as well. It's a 40 millimeter base on the Goblin King. So let's get this all squeezed nicely in there. So let's see. Okay, so this pot of gold goes on here. I think that's what it is. Oh no, that's actually looks like a big. The opposite of gold. Looks like his pot of poo. And yeah, this is basically a giant outhouse without the front door. Okay, so that goes on there like that. Yeah, so you can see there's a hole right there for him to relieve himself. Okay, and there's our Goblin King's throne. And 40 millimeter base goes in there nicely, so there's some of the guys from Dark Vengeance I'm working on. But the Troll King will go in there nicely. Okay, so I'll show you the rest of the troll stuff. Sorry, goblin stuff. I keep on calling it troll because he looks like a troll. And then we'll be done in this video. Alright, this is the final piece. So here's the here's all the goblins. These are the two little objective markers that came with the set. So we have one that's full of all their weapons. Actually, it looks like all the weapons from the company. Yeah, one of each of their things. You can recognize the different stuff. So that's kind of neat. I'm assuming that there's one of the scenarios where they get captured and have to get their weapons back. And then here's some just regular bags and stuff. Okay, so then you have this guy who is, what is he? Well, there's no assembly for any of these goblins, so let's see if I can find it in the book. So that's Grinnah, Grinnah. Anyway, so he's got the whip, and then you have Goblin Captain, which is absolutely tiny. Not quite sure why the captain is so much smaller than everybody else. And then you have a ton of goblins here. So yeah, there's just lots and lots of them. They're about the same size as the dwarves. You see that there. And where's Gandalf? Gandalf is here, so they're maybe a little bit smaller than a human. So there you have it. That's all the forces of evil. So lots and lots of goblins, couple special goblins, the scribe guy, and Goblin King and his throne. Hope you enjoyed these assembly tutorials. Check back for more. I'll be painting these guys up and giving you guys instructions on how I did it anyways. And hopefully that'll be helpful. See you next time.